Namaste, angels. In light of everything that's been going on, I have elected to do my reading a little bit early, at least get it prepared. I usually do it on a Friday afternoon after I have access to astronomy.com, everything that's been uploaded there, what's going on in the sky for the week. Instead, I'm doing it, it's Thursday evening, and I'm doing it today because I don't know what day I'm going to be traveling, but I plan to return to New York City this weekend. Sometime between today and Sunday or Monday. There's, tons of stuff going on around the country and around the world. There's flooding in India as well. There were mudslides in Africa. Many people died. A lot more casualties than we had here, actually. I think we're up to 8. Any loss of life is like too much, but I think we're up to like 8. So God rest those people's souls. In Africa, there were like several hundred, and I can't even remember how much devastation, like in terms of miles and miles of land. I think it was like in the thousands, and a lot of devastation in India, as I understand as well. So prayers to all those people, continued prayers to us here at home, in Texas and the surrounding areas, and your families, wherever they may be. Well wishes to everybody. I know I have some viewers and some subscribers and some Facebook friends and in Texas, in Houston, and certainly I have some family members. A bunch of my first cousins, my father's sisters and brothers' children, are in Houston right now. One is a nurse, and she's been working around the clock. God bless her. In any case, that's why I'm here early, and I'm going to just get into it. So looking at what's going on this week in terms of spirituality, theology, the 8th, Friday the 8th, this reading, by the way, goes from Sunday the 3rd through Saturday the 9th. And Friday the 8th is the feast day of the birth of the Blessed Virgin Mary. It was just attributed to her as her birthday, September 8th. As far as I'm concerned, especially those of you who've been watching me for a while, you know that is incorrect. And I think I've shown how it's incorrect. I've given you the other dates that I know to surround Mary, and the birth date that I know to surround her to have, 6/13. In any case, this is the day on which her birthday is celebrated, and because of that, they made the Immaculate Conception the day on which her mother, Saint Anne, became pregnant with her 9 months prior. So it's December 8th on which that's celebrated. So there's that, and that's it for that category this week. Like I said, I'm not going to do any what's going on in the sky this week, but I do encourage those of you who look forward to that part to, check out astronomy.com tomorrow afternoon and see what's up there. On the 6th this week is the full moon. So that's the big thing in astrology, and I guess astronomy as well. And one of the big things is it's the Pisces full moon, 13 degrees Pisces. And I think if I remember correctly, the Neptune retrograde is also at the same degree. So I'll give us a refresher on what the Neptune retrograde is all about, because they will be concurrent. And again, in the same degree, so in the same area. First, let's do a little recap of Mercury, because that will also still be going on. And let's see. So the Mercury retrograde sort of began, well, Mercury entered its RX zone, as they call it, in Leo on July 24th. And then it went into retrograde officially on August 12th. It goes direct. Oh, so when it went into retrograde, it was in Virgo. It goes direct back in Leo on September 5th. And then it leaves the RX zone completely on September 19th, back in Virgo. Now, what's a Mercury retrograde about? This is from findyourfate.com, by the way. Mercury takes 88 days to do one complete revolution around the sun. Mercury moves into retrograde 3 times per year for anywhere between 19 to 24 days. When Mercury goes retrograde, mistakes, misunderstandings, problems in communication and transportation are likely. Do not sign contracts, nor buy new items, nor begin new projects. It's an excellent time to plan, research, and prepare for something that will happen later. So that's Mercury. Let's look for Neptune. Neptune takes about 164 years to do a complete revolution around the sun, thus spending about 14 years in each sign of the zodiac. Neptune moves into retrograde approximately every year for around 150 days. When Neptune goes retrograde, our spirituality, inner tranquility, and vision become the focus. So Neptune entered its RX zone in Pisces, and it remains in Pisces throughout. So remember, we just read how it's in each zodiac sign for about 14 years. So it's steady in Pisces. Only the degree changes. And that it entered the zone, the shadow, on February 23rd, 2017. It went retrograde in June 16th, a week after Jupiter came out, I guess, right? Yeah, because that was June 9th. So it doesn't go direct until November 22nd. So it'll be full on in retrograde at this time. Now this says 14 degrees Pisces. And again, I think the full moon is 13 degrees Pisces, but I guess they'll be very, very close, if not at the same point. And that's going to mean something for us, or could mean something for us. All right, so now I'll tell you about Mary, and then we'll get on with the reading. The Nativity of the Blessed Virgin Mary. This is from franciscanmedia.org. The story of the Nativity of the Blessed Virgin Mary. The Church has celebrated Mary's birth since at least the 6th century. Well, that makes sense because 6 is her number. I just said 613, right? A September birth was chosen because the Eastern Church begins its church year with September. The September 8th date helped determine the date for the Feast of the Immaculate Conception on December 8th. Scripture does not give an account of Mary's birth. However, the books of James and some writings of James fill in the gap. This work has no historical value, but it does reflect the development of the Christian piety. According to this account, Anna and Joaquin are infertile, but pray for a child. They receive the promise of a child who will advance God's plan of salvation for the world. Such a story, like many biblical counterparts, stresses the special presence of God in Mary's life from the beginning. St. Augustine connects Mary's birth with Jesus' saving work. He tells the earth to rejoice and to shine forth in the light of her birth. She is the flower of the field, from whom bloomed the precious lily of the valley. Through her birth, the nature inherited from our first parents is changed. The opening prayer at Mass speaks of Mary's birth and the birth of Mary's Son as the dawn of our salvation, and asks for our increase of peace. Reflection. We can see every human birth as a call for new hope in the world. The love of two human beings has joined with God in his creative work. The loving parents have shown hope in the world filled with travail. The new child has the potential to be a channel of God's love and peace to the world. This is all true in a magnificent way in Mary. If Jesus is the perfect expression of God's love, Mary is the foreshadowing of that love. If Jesus has brought the fullness of salvation, Mary is its dawning. Birthday celebrations bring happiness to the celebrant as well as to the family and friends. Next to the birth of Jesus, Mary's birth offers the greatest possible happiness to the world. Each time we celebrate her birth, we can confidently hope for an increase of peace in our hearts and in the world at large. So hopefully that means that we're in for a peaceful and productive and positive weekend. And maybe that's it for this week. I think it is. Next week, there's a whole bunch going on, at least as far as theology goes. The feast of the Holy Name of the Blessed Virgin Mary is on the 12th. The 14th, the Triumph of the Holy Cross. The 15th, Our Lady of Sorrows. And that's that. All right, so I'm going to go to the dice. I'm beginning with email. Spend money. And sex. Dirty movie. Eat cake. And try again. Forget it. So maybe if there was a yes or no question or something you were wondering, should I bother? Should I expel any energy on this? Answer is no, just forget it. Let's move on. All right. And on that note, I'm moving on as well to the Angel Tarot. And I wasn't going to start with this, but now since I picked it up, I think I am. And the Queen of Air. Independent, experienced, realistic, and witty is the Queen of Air. I'm feeling a lot of Mercury from this. I think that she might be here because of the Mercury retrograde. Objective decision-making, clearing away all that no longer serves you and seeing the humor in a situation. The Queen of Air is known for helping people to resolve issues. You know, she comes through with the fairness and balance. And she's also really good at leaving things alone that, you know, just no longer serve a purpose in her life. So use that energy. Being guided to tell you about that. Oh, well, right after the Queen of Air, the Knight of Water. So this could be something about Isis and Osiris too. About to show up. I don't know yet. It makes me want to go get my other deck of cards that has them in that deck, the Lover's Path Tarot. Maybe I'll use that for the love reading. So anyway, the Knight of Water. He's emotional, romantic, enthusiastic, and contemplative. Falling in love or wedding proposals, the need to balance emotions, and an invitation to a social event. Maybe this is here because of Mary, her real birthday too. The fact that she's a Queen of Air, like her predecessor. Queen of Air is a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, and the Knight of Water is a Cancer, Pisces. This can be here because of the Pisces moon, or because of the Neptune retrograde, or both, or maybe Chiron in Pisces, or all three of those. A Pisces, a Cancer, or a Scorpio. Knight of Water. And the Eight of Earth. Skilled work is rewarded, learning all there is to know about a topic and going back to school. There can be some Knight of Water, specifically those zodiacs that have been putting a lot into their work, or people in general, regardless of zodiac, who have been putting a lot into their work. It's about to pay off for you. And it's work that is emotionally fulfilling to you, like you like your job. So to whomever that applies. And opening to the moon, very appropriately. Full moon in Pisces this week. The moon in the tarot represents the sign of Pisces, although our moon in the sky rules Cancer. So this card can also show up for other water signs, Cancer or Scorpio, but I think it's here because of Pisces this week. Important psychic insights, events behind the scenes. Release fears that hold you back. The moon opposite the Knight of Water can be talking about all of us with heightened psychic abilities, increased intuition, and can be encouraging perhaps a Knight of Water to shed his or her fear, because there's no gender attached to them. I just tend to say he and she, if it's a knight, if it's a queen or whatever, but these can be male, female, feminine, masculine alike. Uh-oh. The overall energy is the 5 of fire. But you know what? I have a feeling that this has something to do with, like I was feeling all that Mercury. And I think that this has something to do with the 5th. And when Mercury goes direct in Leo. So the day before that full moon. I think that that's why this is showing up. And I had brought my butterfly cards down here to go over change, because I had been seeing a lot of 5s lately, and I decided no, but maybe I'll pull them back out. All right, so I'm going to do my cross spread now. This is going to represent the divine couple. The recent past, blocks to the union, the outcome. This is the masculine's higher self from a general sense this week. The near future. What the feminine can do toward, facilitating whatever has to be done toward this union this week. The masculine. And advice from the universe. Let me move this over a little bit. Make sure we're all in frame. All right. The divine couple. Yay! It's the star with Archangel Jophiel. Happy times. Make positive, optimistic, long-term plans. You're on the right path. I love this for us. The star represents the sign of Aquarius or other air sign, Gemini, Libra. And it's a big yes from the universe, a big wishes granted. It's also, like I began with the dice, with email. It can also mean like communication, at least for me, electronic communication particularly. So yeah, email and texting, and for those of you who haven't necessarily connected with one partner yet, maybe some online dating and all that kind of stuff. Chat rooms or something. The recent past. The 9 of what? Look at this. Look at this. Our prayers have been being answered just overall, because the 9 of water is the same type of energy as the star. The star is, of course, major arcana, so it's a lot stronger. But the 9 of water is a big resounding yes from the minor arcana. This is your dreams coming true too, your wishes coming true. Really awesome. The near future. Knight of Water is back. Emotional, romantic, enthusiastic, and contemplative is the Knight of Water. Falling in love or wedding proposals. The need to balance emotions and an invitation to a social event. So this can mean all of those things. It can also mean in part that in the near future, yes, we're going to have that Pisces full moon. It's coming up this week. But also this week, you could be invited somewhere because your dreams are coming true too. Maybe it's that dream relationship. This star represents the divine couple, the divine partnership. So maybe they, one invites the other out on a date or something, or some other hookup. Whatever your dreams are. The masculine higher self. Strength. So, yeah, this is that Mercury in Leo. Strength represents the sign of Leo, or maybe other fire sign. Aries, Sagittarius, great inner strength. Release harsh judgments. Instead, exercise some forgiveness and compassion. Beautiful place for the masculine to be. Crossing a beautiful place where the couple is. Blocks to the union. Family members, maybe. Getting involved in your business. Another meaning of this, with 10 of water showing up, is like trying to determine what to do with like your children and stuff, like how to work around the fact that you have children and I guess balance those things. be, you know, a dad and somebody's boyfriend or sacred husband or whatever, be a mom and somebody's girlfriend or sacred wife at the same time, like trying to find the balance between all those things. Also, I'm getting from this card, like being social, getting together. The blocks to the union has been, for some of us, the fact that we have not tried to get together. Some of you can get together at like functions with social functions are going to be a means or could have been a means for you to, I guess, bump into your partner and meet. But we've been like avoiding some of these things. So the idea this week is to be social and to know that you can, you know, like look into a babysitter or whatever you have to do, or you don't have to feel guilty because mommy went out or daddy went out or, you know, whatever the situation is in your home. What can the feminine, other than that, do this week toward the union? I love all this water, you know, and all this happy. The Ace of Air. Brilliant new ideas and inspirations, seeing the truth of a situation may be a challenging beginning. I don't really like that part. I always say it's like a beginning nonetheless. So to me, it's good. I don't like to look at it as a challenging beginning. But maybe because of some of these family situations, some of us are finding a little bit difficult to pull away. But what can the feminine do this week? Be very much your true self and your truth. You may, you know, hit someone with some truth. Someone may hit you with some. And you will want to draw on your masculine sides, you know, your inner masculines, the strength that they've been given in order to like deal with that, like process it. Also, Ace of Air is a card of victory. And I think it's about like celebrating yourself when your dreams are coming true, you know, and not like feeling, sometimes we feel like embarrassed when things are going good for us. Like we don't want to make a big deal. I was talking to somebody this morning, actually, one of my Facebook friends and viewers and stuff, about how we were talking about females, but I guess it could be anybody. I don't know if men to do this necessarily, but females certainly, and air signs certainly on top of that, like putting other people before themselves all the time, and like forgetting that nurturing part and forgetting that part of like celebrating yourself. So this guides the feminine to do this week. To, you know, it's okay for you to be happy. It's okay for you to be happy and for you to have that smile and for you to celebrate you and enjoy you. Enjoy your date or whatever it is, you know, to which you get invited or you know, on which you invite someone else. Feel good about you. Masculine. 8 of Earth. You're being rewarded this week for all the hard work you've put in. So this is, you know, sort of like karma. Like if you've planted the seeds, then, you know, you're going to have something to reap. If you haven't, then you're not. Skilled work is rewarded. Learning all there is to know about a topic and going back to school. Advice from the universe. Couples getting back together. And this card is all about water for me too, because renewal or judgment in the traditional tarot for me represents the planet Pluto. And all the death and the rebirth. And that's what I see and feel when I look at the traditional card, in particular with Archangel Gabriel with his horn and everything, and the people in purgatory. It's like deciding, it's you know, where are we going from there? You know, and that's what this card means too. From love and emotion and relationship perspective, which it looks like this spread is, even though this is the general reading, that's what this card is about. In a more general sense, it's about, you know, judgment. It's very simply about like watching, like I was just saying to the feminine, how we talk about ourselves, how we think about ourselves, what words and thoughts, like we speak over our own lives as individuals and over other people, like not being too overly judgmental of over people too, trying to be more fair and liberal about that sort of thing. And then as it relates to like work and being rewarded, it's like, yeah, the boss is about to reward you. So for the masculine, that can have this additional meaning. Whatever work that he has put in, again, not only is it's about to pay off, but it's about to pay off like in a really big way, because this is, here we have major arcana in the position of the universe being the masculine's, quote unquote boss in this sense, or, all of our boss. And that's who's going to give him his bonus and his raise right now. So his acknowledgement. So really good things coming forward for the masculine in terms of, I would say it's a good week monetarily, financially, material sense this week, because the Ten of Water is about emotional and material fulfillment. You're just a happy person. You just got it all. The Eight of Earth, again, is about reaping what you've sown and your efforts paying off. And renewal or judgment, very much so about the boss wanting to give you a promotion, a raise, a bonus, acknowledgement. And so with these two together, and this line actually, really, really looking good for the masculine in particular, but looking pretty awesome for everybody in this area. So what's the outcome? The World with Archangel Michael. A job well done, joy, contentment, and gratitude. The path toward enlightenment. The World, this is coming now too. And I guess I was sort of getting it before with this Ten of Water, that some of these can be existing families also. I said it can be your family, like in your business and stuff, but I didn't say this other part. Some of this can be like existing families, like a married couple on either side and their children or not children, or, the relationship with a karmic, quote unquote, karmic partner, as they say. So your family separate and apart from the union has been a block to the union, of course. So we haven't reached the point here with judgment or renewal where we have to decide once and for all, like, what are we doing? Am I staying with this previous family? Or, am I finally ending this and moving on? And that's what judgment comes through to ask as well. Now we have judgment crossing the world. Major Arcana card 20 and 21, finishing out the tarot. And the World is about, I guess, the decision at the end, where it wasn't only up to us. Like, we have free will to an extent. And so if we've known that the right thing to do, that this has been a block to the union, we know we belong in the union, we know that that's where our heart wants to go. We should be following our heart. But we also know that that's, to where we're destined, and that's where the universe wants us to go. And we've been hesitant or, fighting it in some way, not knowing exactly how we're going to go about it. This is when the World shows up. This is, for me at least, I know for many people, this is like, oh, the world is your oyster. Oh, the world is, in your fingertips or in your hand, or however that saying goes. For me, that's not what it is at all. It's the universe, again, stepping in to help you out of your situation. Like, I gave you a situation to handle. You didn't quite do it, but I'm still proud of you. And because I'm so proud of you, I'm going to give you the last bit of the push that you need over the finish line and help you out. And that's what's happening here. So some of us, this is a week, although justice is not here, this is a week with some of these old karmic relationships, and some of them a whole like family dynamic, those coming to an end, to make way for new. Make way for new. All right, so I'm going to go on to the next spread. And it's another cross. And I'm beginning with follow your heart. And I've opened to health and healing. Follow your heart. And energy healing. We seem to be starting a pattern. Follow your heart. Teacher. This is all about the experiences that we've gone through, the lessons we've learned, or not. Follow your heart. Find the blessing in your current situation, says Krishna. Follow your heart. I'll go one more. And it's time to take charge of this situation, says Moses. Now Moses at the bottom. Purification. It's about removing, wow, okay. Remember all that Mercury that was coming through in the beginning, and I stopped to talk about the Queen of Swords and how she's very good at removing things from her life that no longer serve. And then I just went into that whole thing about some of us breaking up families, essentially. I don't want to put it like that. I didn't mean to put it like that, because that's not what it is. These are things that have to come to an end, because again, the universe and your heart are encouraging you to do something else. But can this be difficult? Yes. Again, Ace of Swords, that's why that came through. Difficult beginning. Can it be so difficult that you find trouble, figuring out how to do it, or they find mustering up the energy? We just saw those cards about energy healing to do it. Yes. So the universe has to step in with the world and eases you out. But one way or another, we have to remove these things from our lives. And now purification shows up. So this is about the same thing the Queen of Swords was here for, the Queen of Air was here for. Detoxing your life, cutting away what no longer serves you. And the overall energy is clear and shield your energy with El Moria. The feminine this week with relation to herself. The masculine about the feminine. The masculine about himself. Masculine about the union. Overall, the outcome. What the feminine can do or surrender, what the masculine would have the feminine do or surrender toward the union this week. What he himself is willing to do or surrender this week. And what the universe would have the two of us to do and or surrender this week. With, again, the overall energy being clear and shield your energy. So it's still on that same theme of cutting away what doesn't serve, detoxing, so that you can be restore your own health and nurture yourself. That whole thing I went through with the Ace of Air. All right, so the feminine about herself. Priorities. King Solomon. So I think this goes perfectly. I've been talking the whole time about the feminine making herself a priority and not being afraid to nurture herself or celebrate herself and be happy for herself. Her having her dreams begin to form or come true in her life. That's a beautiful thing, and she should come first in that moment. Masculine about the feminine this week. Positive changes this power body. So if there's been some stagnation, difficulty, all things of that nature, that changing. And again, this is the general reading. So in a general sense, issues that you've had going on, all of that, improving. The masculine about himself this week. Go now. So where, for example, he's the one that has been hesitant to leave a situation, because a lot of times it is most difficult for the masculine, in my observation, to remove himself from some of these situations, especially where there's children involved, because most of us, light beings, light workers, the illumined, the elect, have had interesting, I'll say, in the least, relationships with our Father, if we had one at all. So they're trying to do something different. And that's why it's so difficult for them to remove themselves from these families, because they don't realize that they don't have to cease to be a father. And nobody wants you to be a father. If you're with a woman, divine union aside for a second, you're with a woman or another man, whatever floats your boat. You're with a person who would want you to neglect your children. You're with the wrong person. You make us proud when we see you taking care of your children. We just don't want you still with with the woman who created them with you, if you're supposed to be with us. That's all. So this go now comes through to help the masculine. And this is, again, general reading. So this is go now toward whatever, toward the work that he's been doing, actual labor, his projects, his whatever. This is go and, do your thing and work on what you should be working on, whatever that means for you. And the union. Artistic expression, coming up with creative ways to express ourselves and to share and with one another and get our meaning and feelings across. Maybe, again, those emails, texts, chat rooms, online dating, all that stuff. Overall, boom, twin flame. So, yeah, that was pretty evident. I knew that I keep saying it's a general reading because it's so loving, it's so romantic that I just want to be clear. I'm not trying to push it that way. It just keeps getting steered that way. Very nice. Outcome. See the other person's point of view. So this is even in cases where we have to go, and even in cases where there had been difficulty prior, we have to allow for the positive change, feminine. Be considerate. Here's the Queen of Air again. Be considerate of and respectful of the other person's perspective and point of view, and try to see all those sides. Masculine. Try to understand, from where she's coming to. The feminine, of course, where I say she here, I don't mean necessarily a female. But try to understand from where the divine feminine is coming also. And also, whomever it is from whom you have to go, or of whom you need to let go in your go now. Try to, similar to what I said to the feminine, look at all those perspectives and be considerate, but prioritize yourself still in the end and follow your heart still in the end. What would the masculine have the feminine do or surrender this week toward the union in the general sense? It is spiritual law of attraction. Treat him like you want to be treated. Like the golden rule this week. Do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. So this see the other person's point of view message coming through for the feminine. Also loud and clear here in connection to this spiritual law of attraction. What we give is what we get. We want positive change. Let's put out some positive energy. Maybe that's why we need to work on our clearing and shielding our energy first if it's toxic or unhealthy. When I pick up this card, look who's here, this fresh one. Fertility and Pan. But I think this is also coming through because of the newness that's going to be existing in these relationships when these changes occur. What's the masculine willing to do and or surrender toward the union this week? Purification. He's going to go now and get rid of what he should no longer be holding on to. He knows now that he kind of doesn't, have a choice anymore. The universe is pushing him so where he's losing control over it. Because when the world comes through, we don't have control over the energy of the world. That's a karmic energy. It requires some patience sometimes. It's not like the Tower, which is abrupt. But we can tell when it's coming, okay? And that's what's happening here. So he knows he has to go now and work on removing people, places, and things that no longer serve him from his life because they have been a block to his union. And what would the universe have the two of us to do and or surrender this week? What they would have us do is work on our energy healing so that we can come together. And I have beautiful stories to tell. Did I tell you guys already? Because it's only been a couple days since I recorded last. Yeah, I told you. Oh, I know. Yesterday, I posted about three or four different divine light cleanse stories. One woman has gotten her confidence up, her strength up. She's feeling good about herself. She's going to buy a house because she was in a situation that was, not the best living situation. It's certainly not conducive to divine union. So she's made all kinds of strides only since having her divine light cleanse last month. It's been a month. She's completely propelled forward, doing all kinds of things with her life now. I have a married couple in separation, or that had been in separation. I discussed this in the last reading that I did, the love reading, that, there's separation to varying degrees and all different types for depending upon, what a couple's circumstance is. So this couple had been in separation, but they are legally married. And since the feminine's divine light cleanse there, she reports, just him spending more time at home, and including spending nights at home. And she wanted me to share this with the collective. She was very, very clear about that. Spending more time at home, spending more time with her. He gave her a hug. He was a little hesitant when she asked for it, like, why? What's wrong? But she's like, there's nothing wrong. And he was like, oh, okay. And gave her a nice hug. And they just really been coming. That's progress, that's progress. She was really happy. There are a few others. So these are people who are working on their energy healing. And I'm not the only person that can help you with energy healing. Some of you may be able to, and do something on your own. If you can, that's awesome. Whatever you need to do this week to work on energy healing, if you want to help to, facilitate this, let's do it. All right. That was awesome. And one more quick spread. Nine of water. Into the 10 of fire. We're laying down our burdens this week. Those of us who had them. Or we're ceasing to allow people to burden us. Right? That dream coming true. That wish coming true. New beginning. Beautiful new beginning for us all with the Ace of Water here. Opposite the 9, it's what we've been waiting for. It's what we've been wishing for. It's what we've been, dear God, please make me a bird so I can fly away. It's happening this week. 9 of water. And opening to the King of Fire. Divine masculine coming into his own, putting on his big boy pants, saying, listen, I got to do what I got to do. It's been real. I'm out. And that could be friends, family, romantic relationship, whatever his karmic situation or situations are. And the Lovers comes through. As I'm talking about karmic situations, I'm pretty sure that's why it's here. Lovers with Archangel Raphael, intimate relationships, carefully weigh your decisions. Also good health. But this card shows up often when there are 3 energies or people in a situation, and we need to choose. Nine of water. Lovers represents the sign of Gemini, by the way. So there's your Mercury coming into play. And the 10 of fire back. Ooh. Overall energy is the 2 of air. Maybe some of us still aren't sure. What are we going to do? Am I going to go now like I was moved to? Or am I going to try to, hold on a little longer to what I know no longer serves me? That's all up to you. Being unable or unwilling to make a decision. A stalemate. Pretending there's no problem. The 4 of air. Time to rest or take a vacation. Allow more time before making a decision. Meditation may provide answers. So yeah, as I was saying in the other spread, or what was coming to me, what was clear to me from the cards, if it wasn't, and what I tried to make clear to you guys, is that the masculine really having to, in a lot of these cases, make a decision as to whether or not he's going to break himself away from these karmic situations this week. So here we have an overall energy indicative of the need to make a decision on the heels of the Lover's card, which can often be about making a decision, and now the masculine crowned by the Four of Air about making a decision. For some, it may mean that he's already done whatever he has to do, and now he just needs to rest, recover, get his strength back, recuperate, chill out, spend some time alone, all those sort of things. Some may actually go on vacation, may retreat, maybe in order to get some clarity and privacy in making the decision. You know, you can go to the vacation before or after, or whatever floats your boat or whatever helps you. Here's another card indicative of the need to make a decision. It's the Two of Earth. Too much going on at once. The need to make a decision. Consider a more playful approach. So we're going to come from a lighthearted place. Two of Earth for me, as many of you know, is like deja vu from hell. This is, you know, the Rihanna song. Like, this looks like a rerun. What else is on? This is what the card makes me feel. Can also be about the need for balance, though, or like we're doing too many things at once. We're trying to juggle. Maybe he's trying to juggle two families. Family with the divine feminine and this, you know, pre-existing family. And again, we got to make some of those positive changes the Parabody came through to tell us about, but the decision is necessary prior. And here in his subconscious, the Queen of Water, tenderhearted, empathetic, patient, and loving is the Queen of Water. Relationships develop to a new level. Trust your intuition. Care for yourself and others. Well, here we have the Mercury retrograde in Virgo being joined, or the Pisces full moon. Maybe this card also can represent, of course, Scorpio and Cancer. And it's about the masculine in this placement using his intuition as part of his thought process, and also moving into a really loving place in his, not just his heart, but his mind. Feminine. The Lovers are back with Archangel Raphael. Some of us have decisions to make too. Intimate relationships. Carefully weigh your decisions. Good health. We may have decisions to make about the masculine. We may have a decision to make similar to the masculine about our own family situation, our own karmic situation or situations, our friends or frenemies of whom we need to let go, our family members with, you know, that we need to repair a relationship or walk away from it, our, you know, partners or exes that are lingering or whatever the case is with us. We got to do the same thing. Surrounding the feminine. The Nine of Earth. Maybe spend some time alone. Sit yourself down. Enjoying life's little luxuries. Spending quiet time alone and successful self-employment. The Nine of Earth is about liking you, enjoying being with you, spending time with you, celebrating you, as I've been talking about the whole time. Nurturing you. You're spending your money on you. And in the, wow, I didn't want to say this card before. When the World came through it, I was like, well, at least this, you know, gives him some time. It requires patience. It's not the Tower. That's what I was thinking. But boom, here's the Tower. Life experience is the Tower in the traditional Tarot. Major Arcana card 16. A significant life event, a powerful revelation that leads to change. It's time to spread your wings. The feminine got, you know, some really serious things on her mind that are going to make a major difference in her life. The crowning, the union, is unity, or the high priest, or the Hierophant, represents the sign of Taurus, Virgo, maybe, or Capricorn. Traditional viewpoints or methods, spiritual organizations, seek out mentors and like-minded friends. This is about surrounding yourself with people of a vibration similar to your own or higher, from whom you can learn something. It's also about commitment. It could be about marriage, engagement, people coming together. Sitting here next to the Lovers, yeah, it changes the meaning of the Lovers, at least temporarily. The Lovers and the Hierophant, you know, can definitely be, let's get married, you know, jagged edge, let's get married is what popped into my head. But let's make a commitment. Let's do something Let's be serious. Let's fix this. Whatever our this is. And at the root, it's the dreamer. Let's take a chance on one another. Dreamer is the fool in the traditional tarot. And for me, represents the planet Mercury, which rules Virgo and Gemini, or Virgo and Gemini. A leap of faith, follow your dreams. That leads to unexpected opportunities. So this, again, is guiding us to go ahead and take a chance. The dreamer or the fool sitting here next to the tower, take a chance. You've been alone a long time. Suddenly the Knight of Water is showing up, or the Queen of Water is showing up, and they want to change that. They want to be with you. They want to come into a commitment with you. Take a chance. Masculine, you've got this on your mind. You want to make a commitment, with this woman who's, she's here, alone, single, waiting for you. Take a chance. Heart of the matter. The Knight of Air, who's intelligent, decisive, idealistic, and tireless. Events that occur with great speed. Take time to carefully review your options so you can come up with creative solutions. The Knight of Air is a Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra, and he comes through often without thinking. It says take time to think so you can make a, sensible decision. That's come up with creative solutions. That's not really his style. I can tell you as a Knight of Air myself, he just takes off and does what he, feels is right in that moment, always with the best of intentions. And I think somebody's going to get swept off her feet this week. This, single female swept off her feet. That's the tower for a lot of us. Once, he makes the decision to draw upon that strength that the universe is granting him with this week, and to do it. And no wonder I'm beginning with Cernunnos, or life force, with my Keepers of the Light Oracle. I meant to use those for one of the spreads, and that's when I picked up the angel cards by mistake, and I just went with it. So I'll use these for the advice, at least. Cernunnos, life force. Express your driving passion. Sensual and sexual powers are increased. So this is, the overall feeling of this week. I definitely think some people are going to get swept off their feet. All right. I've opened to Paul the Venetian. Experiencing grace. Share your gifts with grace. Waves of inspiration and love are coming to you. Cernunnos. It's Mary Magdalene. Teacher awakens. You have something important to share. Follow the inner call. Don't let anything stop you. Cernunnos. And Odin, psychic insight. Your third eye is open. See the truth for what it is. Follow your intuition. Odin, I'm going to cut. Master Jesus, forgiveness. You are on the path of light, love, and forgiveness. Father healing is possible at this time. So even for those of us who did not have a father, or have an estranged relationship with our father, or estranged or estranged relationship with our father, Father healing is available to us too. We can always talk to the universe. We can always talk to Master Jesus, Ascended Master Jesus, or anybody else in whom you put your trust and your faith. And the overall energy is hope, love, and acceptance. Love is yours. Recognize your divine worth. Choose loving thoughts. That sounds like my message to the feminine this week. And let's give these a little shuffle. Two of air. Opening to the Queen of Fire. Two of Air. Opening to the Page of Air. Logical, honest, impulsive, and curious is the Page of Air. He's also a Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra. Challenging information, delays or changes to plans, and truth delivered without tact. I think in some of these situations that some of us deal with this week may involve some challenging information. I think the delays in that regard are over. Although some of us may still feel some, because with the energy with the world, again, sometimes that can require patience and take some time. King of Air, brilliant, impartial, professional, and diplomatic is the King of Air. This is Mercury just showing up. Like the page, Gemini, Aquarius, Libra. Speak your mind with confidence. Seek out professional advice if you need to. Balance mental and emotional concerns. I think the King of Air is coming through to help us to... He's like, a counselor, help us to, extend the forgiveness. He's somebody that we can talk to, a friend or something, give us some advice. I'm going to cut. Queen of Fire, confident, warm, intelligent, graceful. Stretch your wings and fly. Don't underestimate yourself. Assert your independence and creativity. I think a lot's going to happen with that Mercury going direct. When we exit this Mercury retrograde, for the most part, yes, it will be in shadow. But I think that when we, go direct, it's going to open up a lot of communication and... just take off some of the binds that some of us have been feeling. And the overall energy is 5 of Earth. Fears surrounding money, the wisdom to accept help from others, and uncertain self-employment. For some of us, this is the general reading. For some of us, this is fears surrounding money. It's like worry about lack. And that's what's been our problem the whole time. That's why the masculine's here with the 2 of Earth. He hasn't been able to leave another situation because that other situation has been costing him. And he's like, how can I afford both? And then here the feminine is doing, okay for herself. And how do I compete there? The feminine also having some worries too, though, over the course of this thing, with regard to finances as well. So there's that. And then there's the 5 of Earth showing up with regard to relationships that we're in, again, karmic relationships, romantic and otherwise, that are lacking. And that creates fear. That causes us to manifest fear about moving forward, about taking a chance, being the fool. Because what if this new one is lacking too? What if everything is not there? And then there's some of us that have fear of abandonment. Because again, people like our fathers, in many cases were not there. What if, the feminine leaves me also? What if the masculine leaves me also? So that's what this overall energy is here. Starting from see the other person's point of view with the Ascended Master deck. And opening to nurture yourself with Mother Mary. She really came through for me here. With her birthday happening on Friday, and the fact that I've been talking about nurturing yourself the whole time, she really came through. See the other person's point of view. And persistence with Lou. So Lou guiding us to keep on pushing, keep on going. See the other person's point of view. And artistic expression, Paul the Venetian is back. Encouraging us to communicate however we feel most comfortable doing so. Thought says write. Some of us can write, notes. Again, here the email, another possibility, email, text, to open up the lines of communication. Thought on the bottom now, I'm going to cut. Freedom. says Hina. Freedom to do whatever we want to do. Freedom from some of these things that have been holding us back. People, places, and things that have been holding us back. Overall energy is balance, career, and home life with the goddess Isis. That also can be what this card is about. Sometimes this card is about us spending too much time like at work. Sometimes maybe working 2 jobs. Some of these masculine may be working 2 jobs. Maybe that's why he needs to recover and get some rest. He hasn't been sleeping enough. He needs to, take care of his health because he's been putting so much effort into work. But that work, again, about to pay off with the aid of Earth having shown up here. But the goddess Isis reminds us to, find time for both. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Does the same thing for Jill. All right. So the advice from the Ascended Masters to the feminine. Spiritual law of attraction, just like what came through in the other spread for us. So we get what we give. Just like the masculine said to us, the angels saying the same thing. Ascended Masters sending us the same message. We're going to reap what we sow this week, feminine. Wow, masculine, you're getting the same message too. Very nice, but interesting and kind of odd. See the other person's point of view. So this is important for you guys this week to, play the king of air. Maybe you be Mercury this week. You be the king of air and you try to look at all sides. Or you be the queen of air and try to look at all sides. And then, do what's best for everybody. Everybody, including yourself and the divine feminine. From the angels to you. Release, masculine. You are guided to let something that is dead die. Let it fall, allow it to fall away if it's done. No more reason or need to be hesitant to let go. Universe sending major arcana card death to move you to let go of these things. It's the end of this phase or situation. Some of us also going through spiritual transformation in this time and process. It's time to move on, in either case. Release or death represents the sign of Scorpio or the water sign, Pisces, Cancer. To the feminine, it's the 4 of Earth. Being too frivolous or too cautious with money. It's not only money. Sometimes it's our heart. It's love. And that can be here, what's going on with the lovers. Maybe, withdrawing from the masculine, holding ourselves back, not giving of ourselves completely, trying to be, single ladies. All right, all the single ladies. So yeah, loosen up on yourself. And from the keepers of the light to the masculine, Sanat Kumara, light activation. Shine your light. Your internal guidance is coming. It's coming through loud and clear. So you keep getting the messages pounded into you is what this means, masculine, and it's time to listen. And lastly, feminine, Gaia, earth connection. Be mindful of the planet. Come back to earth, right? Come back. And then stay grounded. Stay with us. And, consider giving of yourself, feminine. I hope you guys enjoyed the weekly reading. It was pretty sexy. I'll be back with love. Namaste, angels.